Muslim worshippers performed the Eid al-Fitr prayers in front of the Dome of the Rock Mosque at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem.
One of the most famous sites in the world is the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The dome has long been a source of attraction and mystery for individuals from all walks of life due to its beautiful architecture and fascinating history. But lately, a startling discovery was revealed beneath the dome that shocked the archaeological community. So, what precisely is this discovery that is causing such a stir? There are rumors that an archaeology team has discovered a previously undiscovered subterranean room beneath the Dome of the Rock. This chamber, which is thought to have been built during the early Islamic era, is home to several objects and inscriptions that provide new information about the site's past. This chamber's finding is absolutely amazing considering how long it has been hidden from view. But it also prompts a lot of significant queries. What was the function of this room? Who constructed it? And why was it hidden for such a long time? What fresh information does this discovery provide about the early development of the Dome of the Rock? Let's dig deep and find out. These are only a few of the issues that historians and archaeologists are currently debating as they work to understand the full importance of this astonishing discovery. The Dome of the Rock continues to be a source of amazement and intrigue for people all around the world, and this most recent discovery further increases its attractiveness, even though we might not yet have all the answers. Let's see who built the Dome of the Rock. In the late 7th century CE, the Umayyad ruler Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan created a shrine in Jerusalem that is now known as the Dome of the Rock. This building is also known as Chubat al-Aqra. It is the oldest Islamic monument that has survived to the present day. The building is situated on a level, slightly elevated plaza that Muslims refer to as Al-Aram al-Sharf, which translates to the Noble Sanctuary. Jews refer to this area as the Temple Mount, the site where the Temple of Jerusalem once stood. Muslims believe that the rock upon which the dome was constructed was the location from which the Prophet Muhammad was lifted into heaven for an encounter with God, an event known as the Mi'raj. Muslims believe that on the night of the Prophet's encounter at the neighboring Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is located on the southernmost point of the plaza, he was miraculously delivered there from Mecca. The phrase Al-Aqsa Mosque is commonly used to refer to the entire plaza and, as a direct result of this usage, the Dome of the Rock itself. Architecture. In spite of the fact that the structure and ornamentation of the Dome of the Rock have their origins in Byzantine architecture, the building of the Dome of the Rock in the 7th century marks the beginning of the creation of a distinctive Islamic visual style. The structure is designed with an octagonal foundation and a central dome made of gilded wood. It is positioned in close proximity to the geographic center of a wide raised platform. The raised drum serves as a support for the dome, which has a diameter of 65 feet and rises above a circle of 16 piers and columns. This circle is encircled by an octagonal arcade that has 24 piers and columns. Below the dome, there is an exposed section of the sacred granite that is surrounded by a railing. There is a natural cave located beneath the surface of the rock that may be accessed using the stairs. It may be estimated that each of the octagon's 8 sides, which are formed by the outer walls, is approximately 60 feet wide and 36 feet high. The outside walls and the dome both have a good number of windows in them. The interior and exterior of the building are both embellished with elements such as marble, mosaic, and metal plaques. There are no depictions of human or animal forms in the mosaics at the Dome of the Rock. Instead, they feature Arabic lettering and patterns of vegetables interspersed with images of things like diamonds and crowns. The technique used in these mosaics is similar to that used in Byzantine public structures and churches. Arabic religious inscriptions can be found all the way around the octagonal arcade. Historical context and construction. The building of the Dome of the Rock was a contribution to Jerusalem's solemnity that came relatively late because it had long-standing and significant religious importance before the rise of Islam. Around 1000 BCE, after David had taken the city and made it his capital, his son and successor Solomon constructed the temple, which the ancient Israelites revered as the most important place of worship. In 70 CE, the Romans destroyed the Herodian restoration of that temple, and in its place, in 135, a Roman city, Aelia Capitolina, was built. The Roman Emperor Constantine I, the Great's version of Christianity sparked a rebirth in the city. Over the spot that Christians historically believed to be the location of Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection from the dead, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was constructed. The city prospered until the 7th century thanks to imperial assistance. When Umar I, the second Muslim caliph, conquered Jerusalem in 638, the city was decked with magnificent churches, monasteries, and hospices. The young Islamic kingdom battled with internal war and instability in the decades that followed Jerusalem's surrender, particularly when the Umayyad family authority began to take hold. After the Second Fitna, which saw victory against the Byzantines, Eastern Roman Empire, and the Second Uprising in Mecca, the 5th Umayyad Caliph, Abd al-Malik, set out to consolidate and strengthen his authority across the entire empire. One of his accomplishments was the enormous building of the Dome of the Rock, which towered over the city's churches. According to an inspection in the Dome of the Rock, the building was completed between the years AH 72, 691 to 692 CE on the Islamic calendar, which is commonly accepted to be the date of construction. The Dome of the Rock's fundamental structural elements have survived until the contemporary day, but it has undergone numerous changes to its exterior adornment. The Abbasids, the Fatimids, and the Ayyubids were 3 successive Islamic dynasties that controlled Jerusalem. Each ordered restorations of the building and added its own inscriptions and ornamentation. The rock was encircled by a wrought iron fence during the Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem to stop Christian pilgrims from removing artifacts from it. The wooden screen that currently encloses the rock was put in its place by the Ayyubids. The outside mosaics were replaced with colored ceramic tiles during one large renovation project that the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman I, the Magnificent, commissioned in the 16th century. The Hashemite royals took the initiative to restore or replace broken interior and exterior embellishments in the 20th century, and the dome received a new gold covering. Purpose and significance. The Prophet Muhammad's ascent to heaven is the primary significance of the Dome of the Rock today, but the event isn't included in the monument's inscriptions. Al-Aram al-Sharif is mentioned in the earliest Islamic descriptions of the 9th century that implies some connection to the Miraj, but it wasn't until the 11th century that the connection to the Dome of the Rock became a dominant topic. The Dome of the Rock's initial purpose and importance remain unclear, in part due to the dearth of contemporaneous discussion regarding its construction. The ambulatory configuration is inappropriate for Muslim congregational prayer, and the architectural style is different from that of a mosque. Additionally, it is difficult to incorporate into other types of Islamic religious institutions. A number of features of the Dome of the Rock point to an effort to present Islam as the rightful successor to the Abrahamic legacy. Its structure places it in the category of Byzantine religious structures known as martyria, which are often circular or polygonal shrines built to mark the tombs of saints or to honor significant religious occasions. The Kathisma of the Mother of God, a neighboring octagonal martyrium whose remnants were found in 1992, may have had a significant impact. The enormous size and costly adornment of the Dome of the Rock may have been meant to compete with the Christian holy structures of Jerusalem, particularly the dome-shaped Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The Quranic texts and paraphrases presented in its Arabic inscriptions emphasize the oneness of God, Tawd, rejecting the Christian ideas of the Trinity and the deity of Jesus. Some scholars started claiming that Abd al-Malik constructed the Dome of the Rock in place of the Kaaba after the Abbasid dynasty came into power in the 8th century in an effort to move the Muslim pilgrimage from Mecca, which was then ruled by rebels commanded by Ibn al-Zubayr, to Jerusalem. Modern academics have cast doubt on this account, pointing to the Abbasid historiography's strong anti-Umayyad bias and evidence that Mecca remained the Hajj's destination during the Ibn al-Zubayr's uprising. Other academics have proposed an eschatological reason for the Dome of the Rock's architects, contending that its positioning, structure, and decorative motifs match those of Islamic and Byzantine ideas about the last day and heaven. The location has also had religious importance for people who are not Muslims. The landmark has special significance for Judaism and is situated on the Temple Mount, the site of the former Temple of Jerusalem. Jews believe that the rock beneath the dome represents the location of the foundation stone, which is considered to be somewhere inside the complex. Christians and Jews in the Middle Ages associated the Dome of the Rock with the Temple of Solomon, Templum Domini, using its iconography to depict the temple in both ritual artifacts and visual art. Following the conquest of Jerusalem by a Crusader army in 1099, the Knights Templar were quartered there, and Templar cathedrals in Europe copied its style. The Crusaders used the Dome of the Rock as a church until the Muslim Ayyubids, commanded by Saladin, took control of Jerusalem in 1187. Shocking discovery under the Dome of the Rock. A hidden chamber under the Dome of the Rock. This grotto has been given the name the Well of Souls, Bur el Arwa in Arabic, as there is a common belief that the departed souls congregate here in anticipation of their day in court on the Day of Judgment. This, however, is a fallacy, as is the idea that the rock above it floats without being supported by anything below it. Within the foundation stone of the Dome of the Rock shrine on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem lies a cave known as the Well of Souls. This cave is partially formed by nature and partially created by humans. During the time of the Crusaders, it was referred to as the Holy of Holies by Christians. This was a reference to the inner sanctum of the former Jewish temple, which, according to recent scholarship, was most likely situated on top of the foundation stone. During this time, Jerusalem was under Christian control. In a historical Islamic mythology, it is said that at this location, the souls of the departed can be heard waiting for the Day of Judgment. Although Sunni Muslims do not generally subscribe to this concept, the name Well of Souls comes from this belief. Additionally, the term has been given to a depression that can be found on the floor of this cave, as well as a potential chamber that might be found beneath it. Judaism and Islam. The entrance to the Well of Souls may be found beneath the foundation stone, which is an outcropping of the bedrock that sits right below the Dome of the Rock. The second Jewish temple, which was constructed in the year 516 BCE to replace Solomon's temple and was subsequently destroyed by the Romans in the year 70 CE, now sits at the place where the Dome of the Rock now stands. Abraham, who was about to offer up his son Isaac as a sacrifice, is said to have gotten ready at the foundation stone, which is regarded as the location where the process of creation first got underway, according to ancient Jewish traditions. The cornerstone of one's mosque is referred to as the Noble Rock in Islam. Al-Tabari, a Muslim writer who lived in the 9th century CE, attributed the rock to the location where the Romans had buried the temple, Bait al-Maqdis, at the period of the sons of Israel. AI identification, Tabari's of the rock, as the site dates back to the 9th century CE. There are contemporary Muslims who hold the belief that it is the location from which Muhammad began his ascent to heaven during the night journey. A medieval Islamic myth claims that the foundation stone made an attempt to follow Muhammad as he ascended, leaving his footprint here while simultaneously pulling up and hollowing out the cave below. The imprint of the hand of the Archangel Gabriel, which was produced as he was preventing the stone from rising, can be found in the area. Both Jewish and Muslim legends discuss what could be buried beneath the foundation stone, with the earliest of the Jewish tales being found in the Talmud and the Muslim versions thought to date to the 12th and 13th centuries respectively. According to the Talmud, the stone not only denotes the geographical center of the earth, but it also acts as a cover for the abyss, Abzu, which houses the roaring waters of the flood. Ibn al-Faqih claims that the cave was worshipped beginning as early as the year 902. In the same way, Muslim legend positions it in the center of the universe, above an endless pit, with the waters of paradise flowing underneath it. It is said that this is where a palm tree will sustain the stone if it grows out of the river of paradise. After the Great Flood, it is supposed that Noah settled down here. It is believed that the spirits of the deceased can be heard here as they wait for the Day of Judgment, despite the fact that this perspective is not shared by the majority of Sunni Muslims. The floor at the Dome of the Rock. Israeli academics are up in arms because the Muslim authorities in charge of Judaism's holiest site installed new flooring behind their backs, possibly concealing up clues to the whereabouts of the lost Ark. This has infuriated the Israeli researchers. The sole purpose of the work that was done at the Dome of the Rock was to repair the carpet that had been worn down by the hundreds of visitors that visit the golden top shrine that overlooks Old Jerusalem. However, when the old carpet was raised, it revealed ancient floor designs that had never been documented before. These motifs could indicate the location where the golden encased Ark of the Covenant was buried almost 2,500 years ago. The unveiling of the mysterious geometric patterns at once piqued the interest of a number of researchers, who were ecstatic at the prospect of cracking the Indiana Jones-style riddle, which is related to a holy grail for those who are interested in the Bible. There is something there. We have no idea what it is. Zaki Dvira, an Israeli archaeologist who examines the site, believes that there is something concealed within its boundaries. However, it seems likely that it will continue to be a mystery because academics were not given the opportunity to record the designs before workmen began laying the new carpet, which was paid for by King Abdullah II of Jordan. the country that continues to be the custodian of the area's Muslim holy sites. It has sparked a war of words between the Waqf, the Muslim authority that administers the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, which includes the Dome of the Rock, and Israeli archaeological authorities, who say the repairs were carried out behind their backs. The Waqf is a Muslim authority that administers the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, which includes the Dome of the Rock. The experts are also concerned that the glue that is being used can ruin the floor irreparably. Uri Ariel, Israel's Minister of Housing, and a number of the nationalist Jewish Home Party jumped in the controversy and called for an immediate halt to the construction activity. In a letter of alarm that was sent to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last week, he wrote, "There is no need to elaborate on how important this site is, where every modification, every excavation with heavy equipment can cause irreparable harm to the foundations of the temple. Here is no need to elaborate on how important this site is, where every modification, every excavation with heavy equipment can cause irreparable harm to the foundations of the temple." Sheikh Azam Tamimi, the leader of the Waqf, declared that the work should have been done a long time ago and defiantly announced that he was prohibiting any engagement by Israelis in the project. "Our work in Al-Aqsa is transparent," he stated. "At this point, all we are doing is laying down carpet and felt, not one iota more and not one iota less." They further assert that the work will not result in any damage. Before rolling out the carpet on top of the base layer of thin, dark felt, Jamal Al-Quda, a member of a group of Jordanian carpet layers who got Israeli visas for the task, stated that it was required to attach the base layer of the felt. He continued while rubbing his fingers together and said, "It comes off my hand." Concerning the work being done at the Dome of the Rock, this is not the first time that conflicts have arisen. Although Jerusalem may be the most excavated city in the world, the Dome of the Rock and its hilltop plaza are an archaeological goldmine that has never been properly dug due to the political sensitivities surrounding the site. This is because the location is considered to be the holiest spot in Judaism and the third holiest spot in Islam. The Muslim officials that control the site dug a massive hole in 1999 as part of the building for an underground prayer place. The excavation was 12 meters or 40 feet deep, and they dumped 10,000 tons of earth in a nearby valley as well as in East Jerusalem waste. At the time, the director of the Israeli Antiquities Authority referred to what happened as an archaeological crime. Devira and Gabriel Barkay, an experienced Israeli archaeologist, have been at the helm of a group of professional and amateur archaeologists who have been scouring the ground for ancient artifacts for several years. The Elad Foundation, which also buys Arab homes in contentious areas of East Jerusalem and assists Jewish families in moving there, is in charge of the program, which is known as the Temple Mount Sifting Project. It is carried out under the auspices of the Elad Foundation. Archaeology and this nationalist ambition, critics contend, do not belong in the same sentence. In 2010, the State Comptroller of Israel penned a report that was extremely critical of both the Muslim authorities' illegal work initiatives within the compound, as well as Israel's inability to effectively enforce supervision there. Israeli officials were concerned that the sensitive relationship they had with Jordan could be damaged if the study was made public, so they decided to keep it secret. Tens of thousands of worshippers attend weekly Friday prayers, and the carpets have been replaced in the past. The most recent time this occurred was 12 years ago, at a period of heightened tension when Israeli antiquities officials were permitted limited access to the site. The previous remodeling initiatives were carried out in secrecy behind the scenes. The most recent scandal was fueled by leaked images that were posted on social media platforms. These photos, together with the political influence of Israeli nationalists monitoring the site, drew further attention and added fuel to the fire. According to Frankie Snyder, a researcher with the Temple Mount Sifting Project, photos that were leaked to Facebook from the off-limits restoration site showed a number of geometric floor patterns that have never been before documented by archaeologists. These patterns were found on the Temple Mount. According to what she said, it seems that some of them date back to the time when the Crusaders held the complex in the 12th century. The archaeologist, Barkay, expressed concern that the ancient floors would be damaged in their excavations. It was never fully recorded that the patterns were used. According to Israel Hassan, the director of the Israeli Antiquities Authority, as soon as the government body learned about the renovation, it made arrangements with the Waqf to send an archaeologist to document some of the floor patterns. However, other floor patterns had already been covered by the maroon and beige carpeting. We were able to speak with some of them. We didn't get to it all. Hassan stated that he would not request anyone to lift the carpets in order to collect evidence of it. We shall hold off till the next available chance. In the next 2,000 years, you can count on us to still be here. Do you have any theory about this? Do share in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell for future updates on more exciting mysteries. See you next time.